Alright, so this is a really exciting and important part of our entire 21-day series, and so I thought what we'd do is get in front of the whiteboard here and just talk a little bit about the importance of copy, how to craft your copy in such a way that you can really tell your story, talk about how unique you are, and start to make some sales with it. So we're going to talk about a few different things, and the first one is the formula that you can use to write your email copy with. You can use it to tell stories with, whether you're using it as a script and you're doing that as part of the profit maximizer and the follow-up. And you can also use it, of course, in your irresistible offer, which is the main focus of what we're talking about right now. And the formula that you want to use is this. It's PAS, and what we have here, this is you define the problem, then you agitate the problem, and then you solve the problem. And how we do that is, so of course we are solving a problem whether we're selling products or services, and so the first part of any sort of selling or anything like that is to define the problem. And what we're going to want to do is use this PAS formula as our overarching formula for actually telling our story. And so when we're talking about using that 10,000 years of evolution and the memorable story, this is where we really drive home some emotion with that and how much that problem is bothering you. And then of course the solution is whatever you're offering. And so the concept here is story selling. We're not really telling a story so much as we're actually selling through the story. And so when we're defining the problem that our customer or our prospect is having, we've defined that here by doing our market research. And then when we're agitating it, what we want to do is come up with a list or a brainstorm of all the different ways that somebody can be annoyed or hurt or bad things that could happen as a result of this problem existing. And so an example might be if you're selling insurance or something like that. Insurance guys are really good at this. They will tell you about all the bad things that have happened if, to some guy that is your age because they didn't have insurance. So they agitate the problem big time, and of course the solution is to buy the insurance from them. So that's just one example, but they'll do that through stories. And so an example of this is earlier, or rather, I tell people the story of two ski areas, and a while back my family and I were driving around Colorado and we saw a ski area, and we're big skiers, so we thought we knew all the different ski areas that were around Colorado. But we're looking at this thing, it's high up on a mountain and it's in a beautiful location, and there are ski runs over there and there's a lift, but there's not a ski area there that we've ever heard of. And it was really weird because it looked almost like a miniature Aspen or something like that, and everybody's heard of Aspen, but it was located on the side of a hill, kind of at the end of a canyon, just like Aspen, and it was located in a place that got lots of snow like Aspen, and it matched up with all these other things. But what was the problem? Well, the problem was that this place didn't have any traffic, and so that's why there was no ski area there anymore. And so that's just an example of one of the stories that I use to talk about traffic driving and how it's important to your website and stuff like that. Is there's these two ski areas that are exactly the same, and one of them is worldwide famous, it's known as Aspen, the other one you've never heard of. So that's what you want to do, and you want to follow this formula here. And when you're telling the story, really what you want to do, so after you've defined the problem, so maybe the problem is the ski area that has no traffic, or the problem is you hate your job and you're just caught there and you want to escape it. Well, then you start to agitate all the problems that can go along with that. So with the ski area, if nobody's going there, it costs a lot of money to run a ski area, and you can't afford snowmaking then, and then you can't afford to build a resort around it, and eventually the place goes out of business. Or if you hate your job and that's the problem, you agitate that. You're like, your boss sucks, you don't get paid enough, you're underappreciated, you have to work on the weekends and bad hours, you miss time with your family, etc., etc. So you really turn the screw there, and then what you have is the discovery. And the discovery is when, throughout the arc of your story, something changed and how you discovered the solution. And of course, that can be anything, but this is where the arc of your story starts to change from getting into somebody's head and getting these emotional connections and talking about the problem and moving into the solution area. And the solution, of course, is, like I said, your author.